Okay, very good evening, everyone. Very good evening. So nice to see you on such a nice evening. I would love to see you though. Yes, Priyanka, Rahul Sharma, Kripa. It will be nice if you can keep your videos on. Thank you so much, German, right? I hope I'm right.
Jerome.
Yes. Hi, Priyanka. How are you doing? Very good evening. Am I audible very clearly to all of you?
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you so much, Priyanka. Thanks a lot. Yes, am I audible to all of you properly, Kanika? Thank you. Thank you for keeping the video on. I could not hear you, Kanika, though, so you can unmute yourself. Hello, Shelly.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, you are very clearly.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So without wasting a lot of time, let me ask you, more about you. So how many HR professionals are here? If you're an HR professional, just put it HR in the chat box so I get to know that. Hello, Priti. Very good evening. Yes. Very good evening. Yes. So I can see Kanika, Sukesh, Shelly. Yes. Okay. Waiting for a few more. If I can understand you, your background, so that I will be able to set the tone accordingly. It will help me. Yes. Okay. So most of you are HR. How many of you are IC members currently? How many of you are IC members? If you're an IC member, please put IC in the chat box so that I get to know. If you are already IC members in your company, yes. If you're not, it's okay. But I will get to know. So I'll wait for 3-4 seconds more. Hello, Anuja. So nice to see you.
Same here, ma'am.
Yes. So if you're an IC member, please put it in the chat box. If you're not, it's perfectly all right. Okay. So I just wait for some more time. Great. I think we do not have IC members on this forum. Perfectly all right. So last question for all of you. I know you may feel like, oh, am I attending Kaun Banega Crorepati after, one after another, there is a question. But, that helps me to understand you. So on the scale of 1 to 10, if may I ask you, your understanding, your knowledge about PoSH, how much rating would you like to give it to yourself? I'm sure now everyone will have an answer for this. Let me know. Okay, Kiran is saying 6. That's nice to know, Kiran. Yes. Okay, Elvira is saying, okay, 0, 1, 5. Anuja is saying great. Priyanka is saying 1. Okay. Sukesh is saying 1. Great. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. It's so nice to know. Kanika is saying 5. Priyanka, do you have a question? You have raised your hand.
No, ma'am. It was just by mistake. I'm very sorry.
Okay,
for
no
that.
worries. No worries. I will just bring it down. Great. Okay, so we have people between 0 to 5. That's wonderful. So that, I can go accordingly. Excellent. So before I begin, let me take a quick minute to introduce myself so that, it will be easier for you to understand me as well. I'm Dr. Aparna Sethi, and I come with around 20 years of experience, and I have worked majorly in the area of industries like manufacturing setups, like PoSH, Kalyani Group, then kinetic engineering. Then I moved to service industry, and then after that I was also in education, and then after that I started my journey in the field of training. So I started my career in the training with various programs, like, first of all, with emotional intelligence was again the first love. However, I attended, just like you, the one workshop on PoSH, and that is where I realized that, okay, I should do something in this area. And unconsciously, I was also thinking there are a lot of things are fine, right? And then I started working in the area of PoSH, prevention of sexual harassment at workplace. However, when I started working in this area, I also realized, it is not only about PoSH, but it is about many more things, right? Because PoSH is a last action someone will take. Like, for example, harassment is the last step. However, very important that how we can get into the preventive mode more, right? So that this thing should not happen at all. That is where my interest in diversity arose, and I started working in the area of diversity. Then I realized, hello, diversity is not the only area, but diversity will be incomplete if there is no inclusion. And then I started working in the area of diversity and inclusion, right? So if you look at it, I personally look after majorly diversity, inclusion, PoSH, and my interest rise to such a level that, there are so many cases I handle. So I also published one book, Where to Draw the Line, Complicated Relationships at Workplace. This book is easily available on Amazon. It is not best-selling, and it won't become a best-selling book because it is a very niche book, where I have covered around 10 case studies, live case studies, of course. The names and everything is we have changed. And then if you look at it, it covers the entire part of PoSH because it also gives you a lot of understanding about the law as well in this book. It will be really good to have a book if you want to want to become an IC, because in today's world, you also realize that how work life has become very complicated. It is not so easy. The relationships are changing. The technology is changing. The words and its meanings are changing, isn't it? It is changing so much. And then how do you draw the line? Then I have also published another book, The Art of Online Presentation. That was all about the lockdown story, because many people were asking how you will conduct sessions online. What are the ways we can conduct? And this book is available on Kindle. My third baby is ready to launch, that is Diversity and Inclusion, Meaning to Measurement. It is still not yet launched, but you can see the book cover and everything is ready. I'm just waiting for some few days and it will get launched very soon. So this book covers entirely about the basic handbook. Everyone must know that, diversity, inclusion. And as we know, when you go in corporate world, if you don't measure it, it is not happening. So what kind of metrics you can use if you want to have diversity and inclusion? So that's all about me. I hope, I would love to be connected with you on various social media platform, and please stay connected with me. So that is all about me. And as I mentioned that I started on my own about PoSH. PoSH is into various training programs. We deliver programs to various corporates, very customized programs we deliver, okay? Like PoSH is one of them, the sales, leadership, conflict, annual days management, team building. So very, very customized program we design and deliver. And another is we have various certification programs like HR Generalist, HR Analytics, PoSH TTT, that is one of the wonderful program. And another program is like TTT, that is Train the Trainer. So that's a different program altogether. So various programs are there. And I'm glad that, my co-founder is also here, Rahul Sethi. Our team sits out of Gurgaon. We have very humble, small team, around 30 people. Our office is in Udyog Vihar. If you are from Delhi, Gurgaon, you're welcome. So yes, it is done. Relax. So today's program, we are going to see the basic, what is sexual harassment is. Is it fine with everyone? Because as we know, looking at the time, because, we cover it in very depth, but we will have a look at it, the fundamental things. Okay, what is sexual harassment is? Before we move forward, I just would like to know, what do you think? Why do we need such kind of programs in the organization? See, we all are educated, isn't it? We know sexual harassment is bad. It is not the right thing to do. But still we need to conduct such kind of sessions at workplace. So what do you think? Why do we need? You can put it in the chat box. Let me know. You can unmute. Why do we need such kind of programs? Yes. Prevention, Kanika is saying prevention of such instances, spread awareness. Absolutely, Kanika, spread awareness. Okay. What else? Yes, I'm very curious to know from you. You can unmute as well if you want. People are not vocal about it. I think Kiran is again having another point. Still, many people say, no, that the world has changed, the things have changed. But yes, still many people are not vocal about it. Empower, Sunit is saying empower. Okay. Is it not only physical harassment, but we also need to be aware about oral and behavior. Radhika has sent a private message to me, and that is wonderful point. So it is not only about harassment. I mean, that is what we are trying to figure out. So oral or, verbal behavior is also harassment. Awareness about the platform where people who have such incidents could come forward and report. Absolutely. Prevention from such act and awareness. Sukesh, thank you. To know about one's right. Elvira, wonderful. We should know our rights. Very important thing. When we deliver such kind of sessions, what is it surprising I get to know is, oh my God, is this a harassment? And let me tell you, I don't get such kind of surprising reactions from men, but even women. Because sometimes we have got so used to it that we are living in the world like, itna to chalta hai. Am I making sense to everyone? Yes. Oh my God, I did not even know that that's a harassment. So sometimes, when we go to corporates, they say, what is this, madam? Till now, our people were not aware about it. Now you have educated them. Now this is a big problem. I said, yes, because once upon a time when Britishers were ruling us, that time we also saw, some of us were thinking, oh, this is the life. This is how we have to live life. Am I right? But few people came forward and said, hey, you deserve a better life. And that is where they took a lead, educated people through their writing, speaking. And that is where we are having a freedom, isn't it? People also give a lot of, Karshu, please take care of your mic. Please take care of your mic, please. Thank you. Okay. So many people are still not aware about it. Many people are having a lot of fear about it, having these sessions in the, you won't believe when we talk to clients, they are saying, Aparna, show us what are you going to cover, right? Because there is a fear. We are all going through the transition. However, it is also very important to know what is exactly sexual harassment is. Now, there are two aspects I would like to mention here. Why do we need to conduct these sessions? First is a mandatory. What do I mean by mandatory? As far as this law is concerned, Prevention of Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace 2013, companies which are having 10 and more employees, it is mandatory to have PoSH sessions. Am I making sense to everyone? Yes, it is mandatory. It is a law. It is a compulsion, first of all. And we all need to keep a record of it, that yes, we have conducted such kind of sessions in the organizations. And of course, we need to submit the annual report at the end of the year. Okay, so it is compulsory. because things are happening. People should be knowing about it. Even in schools now, good touch and bad touch is happening, right? So even at workplaces, it is becoming very important. So it's a legal perspective. Second very important thing, what happens is, sometimes in your and my house also, we get to hear some certain things in our house, once we go outside in the society, right? And unconsciously, these things comes to the workplace. Are you making a sense? Am I making a sense to everyone? Yes, unconsciously. Now, for example, let me give you a small example. There was one person, lady, who went on a maternity leave. When she when she returned to the work, everyone was complimenting her because, as naturally we women tend to put on weight after the delivery, right? And this lady lost her weight and she came. So she was looking very fit. So everyone was complimenting her. Okay. And now what happened? One person came and said, wow, you have lost the weight. She said, yes, you're looking nice. She said, thank you so much. But I'm happy that you have not lost the weight where it is required. Please tell me, has this gentleman crossed the line? Please let me know in the chat box. Let me know in the chat box. Kiran, I'm so thankful to you. You're very active. Same with Shelly, Kanika. Absolutely. Tina is saying, of course, he has crossed the line, right? Now, this gentleman was not knowing at all that, he has crossed the line, because he said, Aparna, in my house, my mother says this to my sister. Girls don't look so beautiful when they're thin. Na? They need to have weight where it is required. Hey, am I making sense to everyone? Right? In our house also, in our families also, there are certain statements we use which are actually not the right statements. Yes? And we say, oh, this language is fine. And that's why I said, so there was no intention, but there is an impact. So this law talks two important words, that is intent and impact. You may not have intention, but you have an impact. Making sense? Yes? Just imagine, for example, there are some people use very abusive language at the workplace. I'm sure you must have all come through, right? And they feel it's a man-to-man talk. However, recently we handled a case where the new joinee left the organization because of abusive language. Now, people said, did we say this to her? Did we say to her? No. But she's in your WhatsApp group. And she could see the person who has left before her, what language you are using with F's and B's. The same language they will use about me. Yes. Is it a PoSH case? No. But is it a hostile work environment? Hey, am I making sense to everyone? Please let me know in the chat box. I need to know. Yes. Yes. Just imagine she left. Because we think that this is the corporate environment. There was such a level. I don't know whether you have seen this or not, but there was one person working with the recruitment consultancy who offered 2 jobs to one lady. This lady rejected both the offers and joined third company. Happens, right? As a recruiter, we have a lot of pressure and we say, what is this? This person said, you have wasted 2 companies' time, 3 companies' time, rather even my time. But you come from Bombay, you work like a prostitute. You will go to the person who pays you high. Yes, and it is in writing. What am I trying to say here is there any company's policy says that, hello, these things are fine? Every company has a good policy, behavior, code of conduct, everything. but it is me as an employee, it's my responsibility. Yes, but the thing is this, people are not aware about it. People use such kind of language. And your brand may come to, or your brand may come in danger. And hence, these kind of sessions are very much required in the organization. Yes or no? This is about one. However, there was one restaurant who objected a person coming on wheelchair and said, there is no place for you here. We cannot change the sitting decor. Am I making sense, everyone? Yes. And this is where we talk about not only about women, but we talk about diversity, inclusion, belongingness. If we work on these things, PoSH cases will go down. Hence, during these sessions, we don't talk only about sexual harassment, but we talk about the entire gamut of. Making sense? Making sense, everyone? It is also not only about men. Let me also tell you, we are handling many cases where this law gets misused. Okay. So when we conduct such kind of sessions, we tell them that what is sexual harassment, what is not. And if you file a false case, what will happen? Okay, what will be the consequences? But let me tell you, the percentage of false cases is less. Okay. However, last week, it was Sunday and I received a call, from a very elite company and said, this person is working with us since 11 years, madam. How can we ask him to go? I said, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Wrong is wrong. And there are 3 cases against him. Are you with me? Very senior level person. Hence, these sessions are very, very, very important to conduct. Hey, are you finding my way of talking, examples, language is fine with all of you? Let me know in the chat box. So next 30 minutes we will spend on in the similar way. Yes. Great. Wonderful. So let's have a look at certain important things. Okay. Now, I'm not going into the history of the Act. I'm directly going into the applicability of the Act, and we will have a look at the definition of sexual harassment today. Okay. So what is the applicability? Applicability of the Act is very important, that every organization, irrespective of its size, whether it has female employees or not, PoSH Acts get applicable. Okay. So you cannot say, I don't have women employees. Let me tell you, there are some people also say, madam, jhanjat hi nahi rakha. We don't have women. That is the attitude sometimes we deal with, unfortunately. Yes. So, very important. Another thing is this Act has divided entire industry in 2 categories. One is organized, another is unorganized. Organized means having 10 and more employees. So if your company falls under organized sector, it is mandatory to have IC. IC is Internal Committee, which was known as ICC, that is Internal Complaint Committee. However, over a period of time, this has come out that this committee's job is not only to handle complaint, but also take preventive measures. The role is much bigger. So it is known as IC. There is a proper structure given, and strictly we need to follow that structure. Okay, it is a dedicated committee to handle only PoSH related cases. And if the incidence happens in unorganized sector, that means having less than 10 employees, then you need to have LC. That is local committee, which is constituted by district officer at district level. Okay, that's how it is. Now, under this act, there are 5 definitions which are given. One is sexual harassment, another is employer, third is workplace, extended workplace, fourth is aggrieved woman or aggrieved person, and forms of sexual harassment. It is in today's session, we are going to have a look at what is sexual harassment is exactly. Okay, let's have a look at this. This definition says sexual harassment includes any one or more of the following unwelcome acts. Now, this word is very important. What is it? Unwelcome. What do I mean by unwelcome? Anyone would like to share?
Somebody who is like, very, who's not mannered towards somebody, who is not using appropriate words or not giving him or her some kind of comfortableness and warmness in the talking.
Absolutely, Shelley. So if you look at it, unwelcome means the act which is not welcome. Because as you know, whenever there are physical or any kind of relationships, there are 2 parties are involved, right? And there can be absolutely, these are the right words Kanika has used, uninvited, uncalled, okay, which is a forcible act. Fine, because we live in the world of adults, right? In corporate world, yes. And now what happens when we live in the world of adults? There can be consensual relationship. It's a big topic. Right now, we are not getting into that. But I'm happily involved in this relationship. Possible, everyone? Let me know with your reaction buttons, right? Is it possible that I'm happily involved? And with my consent, I'm with this person, right? But suppose if it is not with the consent, then it is unwelcome. Now, what do we mean by unwelcome? Unwelcome, sometimes many people ask me this question. How do you need to figure out unwelcome? See, someone keeping hand on your shoulder makes you feel uncomfortable. For example, when I face such kind of a behavior with someone, just a hand on the shoulder, just a hand, but for someone it cannot be just, okay? My entire hand was numb. It became numb. I was not able to focus on any of the act which was happening around me. Are you getting my point? I was not focusing. I was like, please remove that hand. Yes. Very important. Your body gives you indications. You know. However, sometimes it happens. Absolutely, Jyoti. It is forcibly, right? So it may happen that, that okay, he keeps hand on Anuja's shoulder. He keeps hands on Priyanka's shoulder, and that's why he's also keeping hand on my shoulder. Hey, but your body is reacting. Hey, but you are uncomfortable. So it is unwelcome behavior. Making sense? Listen to you, what you say. I have seen people leaving the companies with that hug culture. There was a girl, and if you want, you can go through one article which I have published, Megha's Untold Story. There is a case I had given. It is there on the public forum, right? What is that? Everyone used to come and say good morning, like this hug. This girl came from a very small town. She was not very comfortable with that act. And then people started calling her Mata Rani, Jai Mata. Making sense? And her body used to get shrink. And finally she left. What was the reason in the exit interview was? Personal reason, personal growth. But her manager was very smart. He said, she was a very dedicated, good employee. Find out. Don't record it. Find out what happened. So HR went ahead and asked her, and they said, maybe I was culturally misfit. Yeah, culturally misfit. And if she's culturally misfit, then why are we talking about diversity? Think about it. So there are certain actions are welcome by someone and certain actions are unwelcome by someone. And this is where many people ask, oh, madam, then how should I figure out what is welcome, what is not welcome? You decide. You don't cross the line. Am I making sense to everyone? Right? So office is office. Company is company. We need to define what is it that behavior I'm also going to follow, right? So what is it? Physical contact. So if someone touches someone inappropriately, right? Physical contact or advances. Now, physical contact means what? For example, person used to say, oh, I just did a shake hand, shake hand, shake hand. Are you able to see the shake hand? Is there any problem in this shake hand? Do you see any problem in this shake hand? Now, do you see any problem in the shake hand?
Yes.
Is it on the camera? CCTV? I'm just shaking. Am I making sense to all of you? Will it make everyone uncomfortable? Think about it. Think about it. So physically touching inappropriately. Okay. Another thing is called advances. Now, what do I mean by advances? Advances, we mean to say that trying to touch, trying to cross the limits, calling person again and again, let's go out, let's go out, let's go out, let's have a coffee. Person says, hey, I'm busy today. Hey, what are you doing on Friday evening? Nothing, that's it. Let's go out, have dinner. We can watch a movie also. I'm busy on Friday. Okay. How about next Friday? My parents don't allow me. How about next Friday? I'm engaged. Now the challenge is many employees don't say directly no. Because they are not, problem हमारे यहाँ पे क्या है? We can't say no directly. Because many people think that, because we have to work together tomorrow, isn't it? Why to spoil relationships at workplace? Or sometimes many people tell me this, that, I don't think so that is his objective. Maybe I'm only thinking. Maybe I'm only thinking. You are getting an impact. You please say. And now companies ask me to say, madam, why don't you conduct one session how to say no? Baba, people started saying no means no. Except there is no best way of saying no, right? So I will tell everyone, if the behavior is unwelcome, it is making you uncomfortable, boss, say this directly. Another person also should take it on a face value. Okay. So advances. Another is demand. So now this we see many times demand, in what way? Like, for example, in a power matrix, you give me physical favors and I will give you rating. I will change your night shift. I will give you better role. It can be anything, but it's a demand. Now request. Now many people think that, hello, how can it be a request? How someone can request? Isn't it? You must be also thinking, can we have the relationship? And to your surprise, let me tell you, there are many people ask. There are many people say, can we have a relationship? And let me tell you with whom these cases happens, with majorly single mothers, single women. Because according to society standard, they have not yet got married and they must be having physical needs. My girlfriend is not allowing to have a physical relationship. Can we have physical relationship? You cannot even request at workplace. Okay. Now, making sexually colored remarks. Now, what do we mean by making sexually colored remarks? That means talking about the body parts. Many people don't know today also that passing non-veg jokes at the workplace are not allowed. However, sometimes being, to make everyone laugh, maybe to look cool at the workplace, sometimes people pass it, and many people are not comfortable with non-veg jokes. And let me tell you, sometimes we also unconsciously think that men enjoy this. There are so many men are uncomfortable with. Right? Talking about a typical body parts. Madam, you wear a sari, your assets look good, And men also come across such kind of comments. Your shoe size talks about all sizes. If it is not welcome to us, it is not welcome by anyone. There was one person said, there was one girl who used to call him, "Kya dikh raha hai yaar, aaj chikna lag raha hai, aaj to tere ko koi bhi utha ke le jayega." I'm telling you in Hindi, I hope you are following, right? Because sometimes, this social, local language will be there. Is it fine? For example, if it is said to a girl, "Kya mast lag rahi hai, aaj main utha ke le jaunga." That time it becomes a big issue. Then why to men? And even though this act is only about women, because this is a big debatable issue. What is the big debatable issue? That why it is only for women? Why it is only for women? We cannot forget, and we cannot debate on that. Women's safety is at stake in India. Yes or no? Please let me know. Yes. As compared to men. But it should be inclusive. I 100% agree with you. However, this is majorly for women. But many companies have made now gender inclusive policy. So even men face it, they can follow the same complaint and same process. Okay. So if it is not okay with us, it is not okay with men. And let me also tell you, it is for all genders. We are not living only in the world of men and women today. We have LGBTQ community as well. Yes. And sexual harassment of any human being, or for that matter, even animal, it is not right thing to do. Okay. So it is about passing comments on a body parts, showing pornography. I'm making very biased statement though right now. Many people think this doesn't happen at workplace, but we have handled the case because I also work as an external member with many companies, IC member. That there are some WhatsApp groups that are dedicated for this activity. And many people, youngsters, especially coming from campus to corporate, they are in the world that, oh, corporate world is like this. And, this is again cool. No, even men to men, you cannot send this. It is sometimes sad to see one of the managers complained about it that, please take care of it. And also we had a discussion with women in the organization. They say, oh, it's a Saturday night, let's watch porn, have good food, and they are inviting other people. You need to think. See, you have your personal life, but with employees at workplace, that is where we need to draw the line, right? Another is any other unwelcome physical, verbal, non-verbal conduct in sexual nature, we have to be very careful about. Okay. So this definition is certainly in depth more now also. But few things we are covering right now. And very important here is to say no at the right time. What is happening? There are certain cases we handle where I'm using gender-based language right now, but I need to be a little open about it. Hence, women cross their line. What do we mean by that? They went outside with the customers and clients. They had relationships with customers and clients. So hence your customer care policy needs to be intact here, right? Another thing is this. For example, there was one boy started troubling to another girl. She came, she said, he's troubling me. The boy said, we saw some WhatsApp messages. And he said that I like you. The girl said, what is it that you like in me? He said, I like your smile. Then she said, is it with lipstick, without lipstick? Then he said, I like you. So I like your everything, anyways. Then she cropped her pictures with various lipstick shades and said, now please tell me which. So here you are also going ahead. If you have objection, say at the right time. Am I making sense to everyone? Right? However, can the girl withdraw her consent anytime? 100%. She has a right. But if you are going ahead with a client, customer, other employees, say no at the right time. Because afterwards, what happens? Madam, that time she did not say anything. We girls also get into a lot of confusion and say, maybe, may not be. And when the appraisal time comes, then you are putting it across. No. Because this law also has some timelines. You can give the complaint only within 3 months of last incident. Yes. And hence, say no. It can be anyways. You can say directly, you can say nicely, you can have one-on-one and tell that person, see, you're a fatherly figure for me. When you touch and when you talk like this, it makes me extremely uncomfortable. So please take care. But problem kya hai? After this, there is a retaliation. What is retaliation? Badla. Oh, I have better choice than you. Why are you thinking like this? It is there in your mind. Boss, please, if someone is trying to tell you in a nice way, right now, let's accept it that, that is making someone uncomfortable. Right? But you don't have what you say, you don't have a sense of humor. Making sense to everyone? Let me, as we are discussing this, let me show you one nice video clip. And you will get to know what exactly I meant to say. Is it making sense to some of you at least? Please let me know in the chat box, please. And we really don't know what are we doing? How are we crossing the line? Someone is looking at the middle part of your body all the time. Someone is passing a comment, you are looking very hot. In the similar way, women calling men sweetie, darling, dear may be objectionable for many. Thank you, Aniket, for that. Thank you, Jasleen, Shraddha, Supriya. Yes. Now, do you think this kind of sessions are must at workplace? Because sometimes we find it is absolutely all right. It is absolutely all right. Let me show you some scenarios, some scenarios, okay? Let's have a look at this one. Yes. Can I compliment someone at work? Yes, you can give the compliments to their colleagues in the workplace. However, someone says, oh, you're looking very nice. Thank you. क्या बात है, बढ़िया लग रहे हो. Especially in Delhi NCR, Zahar, Phul Jhadi, Pataka. I mean, what is these words are? And now you can see what happens in the society comes at workplace. And the other parties, we take it as a compliment. Can we just have a nice peaceful flag there and say, can you compliment in a really better way, the way you will compliment to maybe your mother or a sister? How will you say? Will you say, Mama, pataka lag rahe ho? In the similar way with the men as well. So please be careful, because one thing is there, we have to be careful that I will tell you that, Swapni, wonderful question here. If someone is looking only eye contact body, it is an harassment without passing comment. So, Swapnali, what is the person is saying after that? I may have eye to eye contact. Okay. However, what comment I'm passing? Let me give you immediate example. With this next scenario, it will be very clear to you. Let me show it to you. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. What do you think? Which one is inappropriate? Number 1 or number 2? Put it in the chat box, please. What are your answers? Put your answers in the chat box. Right? Smita, you look great in this outfit, fine. But now what is happening? Sometimes becomes difficult to control. Why do we need this? For example, there was one girl who used to have, do yoga, used to put a lot of WhatsApp status. And someone said to her, wow, you do yoga every day. She said, yes, I love to do yoga. Kyunki yoga se hi hoga. Right? Yeah, that's what she said very nicely, because that is required. The other person says, your husband is lucky. Your flexibility must be making him happy. And people pass such comments. Just look at Shaile's reaction on this. It is so difficult for someone to take it, isn't it? One lady comes, like, for example, she had a hectic morning, and all working women can understand when you get out of your house, you're actually tired. To get, when you want to go to office, when you sit in a metro or when you sit in the taxi, you feel good. That is a relaxing time. Happens? Yes. In the similar way, the one lady said, I'm so tired. Now there was a shared taxi, and she said, now I just want to relax. I'll take a nap. The other person said, हाँ गोदी में लेट जाओ, कोई problem नहीं. She said, what? What did you say? No, nothing. Nothing. And driver was also like this. And then she said to this, and that is the time driver had to come and say, yes, this man said this. But do you think now next time again, she will be able to sit in the same car with the same confidence? Think about it. So Shraddha has put absolutely a must, especially in a society which is going through a lot of transition, where hugging has become new way of greeting someone without acknowledging. Absolutely. And this is what we say. And this is what we also need to be careful. What's your company culture? What is it happening? We need to be little alert. Yes. And this sensitization trainings help, right? So now if you all look at it, certainly, let me also give you a few more scenarios. I hope the scenarios will help you to understand what is sexual harassment is. Of course, there is a long definition. We have covered the major part of it. You need to join the office. Work from office has started. Why my physical presence is required? Is it a sexual harassment? Please put your answer in the chat box. Absolutely no. Absolutely no. Why? Because there are certain things which are required at workplace. You need to report at workplace. So please do not misuse. For example, when we were in the form of work from home, right? Sometimes your camera needs to be on. Your manager will ask you to keep your camera on because it's a workplace requirement. You just cannot say it's a harassment. Huh. But someone is conducting meeting 10 o'clock in the night and saying, keep the camera on and dress up in a certain way. That is inappropriate. Making sense to everyone? Yes. And the last scenario of the evening, let's have a look at this one, right? What is the dress code policy? I can wear whatever I want. No one can object in the office. Is it the right way of saying yes or no? Thank you so much, Jyoti, Kiran, Shelly. I can see your answers coming in. Tina, Priyanka, thank you. Please understand there are some workplace dress code policies and we all need to follow it. Especially in some industries, it is required. Sometimes few jobs are very specific, like if you're a customer facing role, especially, you need to dress up in a certain way. And sometimes you are working in a manufacturing setup, your head needs to be behind. You need to have that cap and apron on you, right? And you cannot say that, I will not follow this and this person is harassing me. No. I hope it has given you a lot of understanding about sexual harassment today. Now what we will do, it is already 7:53. I will take a pause. And if you have any questions, let me take a few questions here. Yes. The questions can be related to the PoSH, that is this act, as well as if you are interested in doing maybe a PoSH TTT course, anything, So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you, Rahul, for joining in. Yes. Any questions?